Jesus is Lord. Despite the gas prices, Jesus is still Lord, and he's coming back. I'm back to talk about Joflation, or what's more commonly known as Bidenflation. Bidenflation. And the cost of voting stupid. The cost of voting stupidly. Fact number one, I have some facts for you. Liberals don't like facts, so that's why I provide facts on this channel, just to trigger them. Fact number one, Americans making below 40 or 400K are seeing higher taxes. Biden has repeatedly claimed this would be the case. He said it in October. He said it in May of 2021, November, of course, that no American earning less than $400,000, which is basically everyone, will pay a single penny more in federal taxes. In reality, the radical, social, liberal, progressive spending bill only includes tax cuts for the rich, as usual. And of course, the middle class would be slammed. Even the left-leaning tax policy center predicted that 30% of the middle class would see higher taxes, and we're being taxed as far as our food and our gas is concerned. So remember, when you have a hike in all of these prices, that's a tax on the American people as well. So everyone is seeing higher taxes. Everyone is seeing higher everything under the Democrats and under Biden's spending spree. They also violated their only tax the rich policy by including a vape tax, which is considered, highly regressive. A vape tax. Fact number two, vape tax. Fact number two, Build Back Broke will worsen inflation. Build Back Broke will worsen inflation. And that's exactly what we see, what we've seen happening. Build Back Broke. Remember the Biden administration for months, it seemed like years, were going on and on and on about inflation being transitory or temporary. Transitory, temporary. Inflation is transitory. And then you started to hear, remember the Mockingbird media, you started to hear everyone on MSNBC, NBC, ABC, CNBC, you started to hear everyone parrot the same notion that this inflation was just something that was transitory, something that we're just going through just for a time.
I really doubt that we're going to see an inflationary cycle.
Most economic analysts believe that it will have a temporary or transitory impact.
The faster than expected increase in some of those prices is actually a good sign.
The overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking about this great,
This is something that will settle down.
Transitory.
And the data shows that most of the price increases we've seen were expected and are expected to be temporary. There's nobody suggesting there's unchecked inflation on the way. It's highly unlikely that it's going to be long-term inflation that's going to get out of hand. I don't know anybody who's worried about inflation.
Over the last couple of months, we actually saw it trended downward.
President Biden's chief of staff, Ron Klain, enthusiastically retweeted an economist who had said in part most of the economic problems we're facing, inflation, supply chains, et cetera, are high-class problems.
What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Well, the number one thing that the president can do is help get COVID under control. That we know is the root cause of inflation.
President Biden this afternoon saying he thinks we're at the peak of the crisis right now and that lower prices are on the way.
The inflation has everything to do with the supply chain. Make no mistake, inflation is largely the fault of Putin. I'm going to do everything I can to minimize Putin's price hike here at home.
If you want to get rid of inflation, the only way to do it is to undo a lot of the Trump tax cuts.
I think ever since you've come into office, things are really looking up. You know, gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything.
Yes, transitory. Yeah, just just gonna pop up and then a bit, then it's gonna go back down again. Oh, and of course, COVID is the root cause. COVID is the root cause of inflation, right? Remember? So first there was no inflation, then the inflation is just transitory or temporary, and now it's Putin's fault. It's Putin's fault. Putin did it. It's just gonna pop up a bit, and then it's gonna go down again. Don't worry. Just gonna pop up again, and let's just not worry. Let's just vote Democrat again this year. This is normal. And finally, number three. Can we get a baby drum roll for number 3? Where's my baby drum roll? Thank you, baby. Brought to you by the Supreme Court. Number 3 is a good one. Joe Biden is a chronic liar, period. He's a liar. All right. I don't know why. I don't know what else we have to show you to prove this. He promised to put truth over lies, but he's done the exact opposite as president. He's made up stories about I'm surprised he didn't make up a story about his dad being black. But he's made up stories about his dad being a coal miner from Pennsylvania. He was involved in the civil rights movement. Spreading misinformation about Georgia's new election integrity laws meant to make it easier to vote. Now he's lying directly to the American people in an attempt to push his Build Back Broke agenda, claiming that his nearly 2 trillion, not million, not billion, but trillion tax spending spree will not add inflation. Now, if you believe that, you probably are a liberal or an idiot, which are synonymous terms. So for months, the Biden administration insisted that inflation was transitory. Now we have inflation at a 30-year high. That's according to the Fed chair. They finally conceded. Biden's Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, have finally conceded and given up. And now are saying that inflation will persist and that it's time to retire the word transitory. Oh, it's time to now retire the word transitory. Now you want to retire the word transitory.
I really doubt that we're going to see an inflationary cycle.
Most economic analysts believe that it will have a temporary or transitory impact.
The faster than expected increase in some of those prices is actually a good sign.
The overwhelming consensus is going to pop up a little bit and then go back down. No one's talking about this great,
This is something that will settle down.
Transitory.
And the data shows that most of the price increases we've seen were expected and are expected to be temporary. There's nobody suggesting there's unchecked inflation on the way. It's highly unlikely that it's going to be long-term inflation that's going to get out of hand. I don't know anybody who's worried about inflation.
Over the last couple of months, we actually saw it trended downward.
President Biden's chief of staff, Ron Klain, enthusiastically retweeted an economist who had said in part most of the economic problems we're facing, inflation, supply chains, et cetera, are high-class problems.
What is the Granholm plan to increase oil production in America?
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Well, the number one thing that the president can do is help get COVID under control. That we know is the root cause of inflation.
President Biden this afternoon saying he thinks we're at the peak of the crisis right now and that lower prices are on the way.
The inflation has everything to do with the supply chain. Make no mistake, inflation is largely the fault of Putin. I'm going to do everything I can to minimize Putin's price hike here at home.
If you want to get rid of inflation, the only way to do it is to undo a lot of the Trump tax cuts.
I think ever since you've come into office, things are really looking up. You know, gas is up, rent is up, food is up, everything.
Oh, he's just smiling away because his taxes aren't going up. He's the president, right? Yeah, so he's laughing it up, while you head to the pump and pay $7 a gallon. He's laughing it up. And then the sick, demented liberals, we're going to talk about one of them later, just go buy an electric car. So they don't even have to buy gas anymore. We're just going to buy an electric car. The liberals in California, who are moving to Florida, by the way. Manhattan Institute senior economist Brian Rettel says this bill, Biden's in tax spending spree, his $2 trillion, not million, not billion, but trillion tax plan. This is what Manhattan Institute senior economist Brian Rettel says. The bill would, quote, unquote, fuel inflation. Fuel inflation. U.S. Chamber of Commerce senior economist Curtis Dubai. The bill will, quote, undoubtedly worsen inflation. The Committee for Responsible Federal Budgets, Mark Goldwein, says, and I quote, I expect inflationary pressures from the bill. Former Obama economic advisor Stephen Ratner says, I quote, the administration should come clean with voters about the impact of its spending plans on inflation, meaning tell us how this is really going to affect us. The reason why we voted for Donald Trump and why we will vote for him again is because he was honest to the American people. He was honest to the American people. He told the truth. He told the truth.
Are illegal immigrants more important than Americans? I'd like to hear an answer. Why are illegal immigrants more important than homeless people sleeping on the streets? Why do we in one of the biggest economies here in California take care of illegal immigrants, but our people are sleeping on the streets? Nobody can ever answer that question. Yep. Why don't people put American citizens first, but illegal immigrants get everything? And I hope you post this. I want this to go viral because I give a damn and I care about my community and I'm going to fight for it, and I am 100% voting for Donald Trump. The Democrat Party does not put our people first. Nope. They put sanctuary cities first. They put illegal aliens first. They tax us. They tax our water. You can't even do laundry and shower on the same day. Wow. Meanwhile, President Trump is signing United States-Mexico-Canada agreement, and he's signing trade deals, and he's cutting our taxes, and he's securing the border, and he's putting our veterans first. I am proud of President Trump, and I am voting for him because he's putting the American people first, period.
Wait a minute, I couldn't pause that because it was a clip. Wait. Liberals in California cannot take a shower and do laundry on the same day? Wait. It's no wonder they're moving to Florida. Wait, you can't take a shower? Jay Passett can't take a shower and do his laundry on the same day. It's no wonder liberal Californians are moving to states like Florida, where a real leader is in charge.
You only arrest for the purpose of dealing with a felony that's committed, and I don't count drunk driving as a felony.
Too late. It's too late, black woman. Too late, black man. Too late, white liberal. What have we done? $161 more if you're a couple in Georgia. That's how much more you're paying per month on gasoline. $161 more. Couple in Georgia. A young professional in Phoenix is now paying $258 more for rent per month. Here's your tax. A retired couple in New England is making or is paying $27. You don't make anything under Biden's economy. Is paying $27 more per month for electricity. Parents of 3 in the United States is paying $166 more per month to feed their family. You don't make anything in this economy, in Biden's economy. You do not make anything. Well, some do. Some who prepared themselves for what Biden told you he was going to do. He told you he was going to shut down the Keystone Pipeline, the project. He told you that. You didn't hear him during the debates? Oh, Trump's mean tweets. Trump's mean tweets. Oh, okay. I got it. So Trump's mean tweets, nuclear war. I feel like making one of those memes, like which button do you push? Right, for the liberal. Like he's sweating like Trump's mean tweets, World War III. Trump's mean okay. Bacon. You mean to tell me that the Hebrew Israelites don't have to worry about this because they don't, the Orthodox Jew, kosher Jews, whatever they call themselves nowadays. Everything is up, especially meat, because they don't want you eating meat. They want you eating bugs. Go ask the 1,000 schools in Australia where who are being fed, the children there who are being fed bugs. Go ask them. Peanut butter's up, everything's up. Eggs, chicken. Black folks should be upset about that. Chicken up 10%. Used vehicles are way up. You should buy the car whole, new. You should buy the car new. Buy a cheap car new. All right. Gas, it's up 40%. Of course, everything else. Everything. Here's your tax. Here's your Biden tax. Okay, that's how you're taxed. If someone comes out with an idea or a plan or a policy and says no one above 400,000 is going to be taxed, but then raises the price because of the policy on everything else, well then, rental cars, gas prices, we know, used cars, bacon, hotels, beef, pork, eggs. I can't even eat at breakfast. That's my breakfast right there. I can't even eat breakfast because of these guys. Chicken is up 8%. Kids' shoes, television, electricity. You should have stopped doing this. Should have stopped eating out in restaurants. Apples. Everything has gone up. How is inflation affecting you? How is inflation affecting you? Why don't you tell me in the chat how it's affecting you? If you're a liberal, you're not going to show up here. I understand. You should be ashamed of yourself for the decision you made, the very poor decision-making skills that you displayed this past election. Now, we all know that Biden would have won anyway. but you still made a decision to vote for Joe Biden, and you need to own up to it. You need to own up to it, right? And if anyone's gonna make you own up to it, you know it's me. You know it is I, silly Negro.
What a silly Negro.
What a silly Negro. Who voted for Biden?
Because you have the mindset and nature of a woman. As a beta male, not an alpha male. Beta male, yes. Beta male. Beta. You're a beta male. You're a beta male, not an alpha male. Beta. What a shame. Mommy's boy. As a beta male.
That's a beta male, mommy's boy, and emphasize the boy. And I left a message, and the title was "How to Trigger a Hate Preacher." So Matt Powell is a hate preacher now because he came out with a video exposing this YouTuber, showing pictures of him before she or he became she, and showing he actually had a conversation with him before the transition. So showing the difference and showing what happens after you lose a debate to Matt Powell. You just totally lose your mind. So I guess. So this individual, this man, comes out with a video saying how to trigger Matt Powell. Well, and my response was simply, if you're a liar, that'll trigger any Christian. If you're lying, especially if you're lying about the Bible, that triggered Christ when the Pharisees were lying about Scripture or lying about God. That triggered Christ. So there are certain things, and we call it a righteous anger. There are certain things you should have instilled in you as a Christian because of the Holy Spirit. That's what the Holy Spirit does. It doesn't teach you how to do how to read the Bible. You need to go to school to learn how to read the Bible. All right. What the Holy Spirit does is it convicts us of all things that are erroneous or false. Right. Teaches us all truth. So yes, you should have something inside of you that says, no, this is wrong. We need to do something. We need to protect unborn children, et cetera, et cetera. So yes, we are triggered by lies. When you lie, that's a trigger for Christians. Okay. And that's why we don't like Joe Biden. Okay. So I said simply, if you are a liar, that will trigger any Christian. And here's the response from Mr. Beehive, whatever his name is. Does your wife know how much time you're devoting me sweetness? First of all, women don't even talk like this unless they're in their 80s. No woman goes around calling a man sweetness. Like, who do you think you are, a woman?
Hi there, handsome. How about a date? No thanks. Maybe some other time.
No thanks. Maybe some other time. Beta male comment of the week. And now I'm just going to get right into my dumb comment of the week. Dumb comment of the week comes from I don't know what a pixie is, but I guess it's some sort of bug, right? That's sort of how I feel every time I hear this woman speak. I sort of feel like I need to swat away. It's sort of like a fly, a bug that is just bugging you, and you need a fly swatter, but you don't have one, so you take your hat off and try to use that. That's how I feel when this woman tries to speak on things that you know nothing about. Nothing about. So the conversation, I wasn't on this stream, but there was a conversation that was being had about me mentioning at one point during my time here on YouTube that I sell insurance, that I work, I'm licensed life and health, licensed to sell insurance. And for some reason, that triggered the liberal. Just Joe saying he actually works as a licensed insurance agent triggered the liberal. Now they can't defeat me in debate. Now they're going to try to prove that I'm not a teacher, that I never sold insurance, right?
You're not licensed at all if you didn't take your series. That's the thing. If you're allowed to sell, but the reason you're allowed to sell is because you are selling underneath a licensed FA who has agreed to take liability for you, right?
All right, so that's the claim. The claim is that you cannot sell life and health, because my claim was that I have my life and my health insurance license. I am licensed in my state to sell life and health products. Okay. Notice my comment in the comment section. All right. Here's the claim again from someone who's speaking out of their pixie hole, I guess.
You're not licensed at all if you didn't take your series. That's the thing. If you're allowed to sell, but the reason you're allowed to sell is because you are selling underneath a licensed FA who has agreed to take liability for you.
All right. Who has agreed to take liability for you? Is that true? Let's see. All right. So here is the Department of Financial Services, right? You can go here. You can Google this. If you want to learn about being an agent or a broker, or selling life health insurance, accident insurance, or what's called getting your casualty license. It's called property and casualty, or P&C. It's known as. You can go to this website. You can go to any website from any state in the United States, and they'll all say the same thing. Life and health, life accident and health. It's called. Life, accident, and health. Now, if you take the exam for life, accident, and health, you can actually take both of them at the same time, or you can take them separately. You can get your life license, or you can just get your accident and health license, or you can take them. Some states will allow you to take them at the same time and get both at the same time. A life agent or life broker may also be licensed to sell variable life and or variable annuity products. May also, so you may have your life license, you may also have your Series 6. In order to sell variable, those are products that are connected to the market. That is the only requirement. Your Series 6 is required for that type of sale. If it's just a life insurance policy that is not connected to an annuity or a variable account or product, you may sell it. You do not need your Series 6 to sell life insurance or health insurance. Okay? So a life, accident, and health agent represents the company from which they are appointed, as you just read there. To qualify for a license, here, pay attention to this, liberal. I'm trying to educate you, because obviously you don't even know what's going on in your own state. And you have to complete a pre-licensing education course, 40 hours of instruction for the Life, Accident, and Health Authority. Does it say anything about Series 6? No. Anything about annuities? No. A candidate applying for variable life and annuities must provide passing or proof of passing the Series 6. Does it say you need the Series 6 for life? No. Variable life. Variable life. Go back to my chat. That is not what I said in the chat. Oh, Joe doesn't know what he's talking about. Shut up, liberal. You have no clue what you're talking about. Let the experts speak on these issues and close your mouth when men are speaking.
You're not licensed at all if you didn't take your series. That's the thing. If you're allowed to sell, but the reason you're allowed to sell is because you are selling underneath a licensed FA who has agreed to take
False.
liability for you, right? Like,
Demonstrably false. No person in any state can sell insurance. I just learned this. I didn't know it was every state. I knew my state didn't allow it. There is a state in the United States that will allow you to sell any insurance product, whether it be life or health, without a life or health license. So people who have a life insurance policy or license cannot sell health insurance. People who have a health insurance license cannot sell life insurance. People who have a Series 6, they can sell life and health that have a variable element to them, meaning they're connected to the market, stocks and bonds, annuities, mutual funds, products that actually grow based on the market. That's where your Series 6 and 63 comes into play, and which are very difficult exams. Ask someone who's actually taken it. Obviously, she hasn't. Ask someone who's actually taken these exams, they will tell you the level of difficulty on the Series 6 and Series 63 is ridiculous. I was thinking about doing it when I had finished my undergrad, which was in finance and real estate. I was thinking about taking the Series 6, and I couldn't. It was too much. It was too much. I said, "Look, I'll just sell life and health, period, and I'll make money off of that." Now, the question. Now, yes, the question came up. Well, what's the difference? Well, someone with a Series 6 and 63, they're going to be what you would call a financial advisor. Okay, a financial advisor or someone who's sort of like a manager of agents. You can now have hire people with licenses. You cannot hire someone to work for you. The whole thing came up. Oh, he works under somebody. He's working under somebody. And the person who I'm working under may not even have their license. Their license may be, but they have their own business, and they're working and they own the company, but they're not allowed to sell. But they can hire other agents. You cannot work and sell insurance in the United States unless you are licensed. Let's get some more evidence for that. Let's get some more evidence for that.
you're not licensed at all if you didn't take your series. That's the thing. If you're allowed to sell, but the reason you're not licensed at all if you didn't take your series. That's the thing. If you're allowed to sell, but the reason you're allowed to sell is because you are selling underneath a licensed FA who has agreed to take liability for you, right? Like, he's not licensed. The Series 6 is the most basic license you need, right? And then there's stuff after that. So if the Series 6 was too hard for him, he's not licensed in shit.
Okay.
So that was the Series 6 is the most basic? What? What? What are you talking about? Go Google. For Christ's sake, use the Bible that's good, the good Lord Satan gave you for good instead of evil, because you can't win in a debate against Jill. So let's try to demean him. Let's try to suggest that what he says he did or does for a living is a lie.
Wait, how can he say that he was licensed in 45 states if he didn't take his Series 6?
Because you can be licensed in other states and other than your own, but what are called reciprocal licenses in just life and health. The Series 6 deals with the variable annuities or deals with the products that are attached to the index or attached to the market. You cannot sell any sort of life insurance policy that has any element of an investment if you don't have your Series 6 or 63. You can sell life insurance policies that do not index or do not have any connection to the stock market. You can also sell health insurance, which of course never, unless you have some sort of package that you're jumbling together. Health insurance, you can obtain your health insurance. I used to teach my students, and I would coach them when look, if you can't find a job, go downtown and take that test, the life insurance test. It's 100 questions. You pass that life insurance, or not life. Life is a little tougher. The health is usually the easiest in most states. You pass that health insurance test, employers will be calling you, especially during AEP, which is the annual enrollment period, which comes around every year from October 7th to December around there. They'll call you because they're looking for licensed agents. No one has to sponsor you. You cannot sell it. This woman has no idea what she's talking about. You cannot work under someone with a license if you don't have a license. If you do work under them, you're working under them as a secretary. You're not selling insurance or soliciting. In no state jurisdiction can you do that. You cannot walk up to someone and say, hey, can you want to buy this health insurance policy? If you're not licensed by the state, you can't even work for another licensed person selling insurance. I have no idea where this is coming from other than hatred.
You're not licensed at all if you didn't take your series. That's the thing. If you're allowed to sell, but the reason you're allowed to sell is because you are selling underneath a licensed FA who has agreed to take
False. Licensed financial advisors, if you want to call them that, will only be allowed to bring on staff if that's how they do it in your state. In my state, I can hire my own. If I'm appointed by a company, I can hire agents under me. So, but I don't know what's going on in your state. But I looked up the laws in California, and they say the same thing. You cannot sell insurance. Period. Period. Unless you're licensed. Period. Doesn't matter who you're working for, by yourself, for another company, for a fiduciary. Doesn't matter who you're working for. Blue Cross, New York Life, Highmark, in New York Empire, which is the Empire New York, which is the Blue Cross in New York. Doesn't matter who you're working for. Humana. You cannot sell, you cannot call or get on the phone and solicit insurance to anyone without a license from the state. Period.
right? Like he's not licensed. The Series 6 is the most basic license you need, right?
False. It's really the health license is sort of like step one, health, life, and health. Right? If you call New York State Life up right now, or if you call Mutual of Omaha up right now, the first thing they're going to ask you is, do you have your life license? That's the first thing they're going to ask you. So that's the basic. And then if you want to go on to get your Series 6, so now you can start selling like the big boys, right? That's where the money's at. The money's in the variable products, right? So if you're really serious, you would get your Series, I call it the Series 6, because that's how serious it is. It's crazy. I mean, I took the practice, and my brain was fried for like a week. Okay, because I'm black and I grew up in the black neighborhood run by Democrats. So no, all right, but you take your life and health first. That's the basics. I don't know what this woman's talking about. This woman is drunk.
And then there's stuff after that. So if the Series 6 was too hard for him, he's not licensed in shit.
I think that long pause. I didn't pause that. That was the room. Are you feeling the room? Because I think the room is feeling that she's wrong and what she's saying is wrong. But liberals do not correct each other in public because you get along, you go along to get along. So even though everyone knew that she was 100% wrong, no one wanted to correct her except for my beta male of the week, who actually came in and corrected her a bit. All right, so what are the Series 6 and 63 securities licenses? All right. You can Google this. You can go on Amazon and go purchase one of those books, for dummies, right? Series and 6 and 63 securities licenses. Securities licenses. This is what you need to sell securities. Okay? Not life and health. The Series 6 and 63 licenses are often mentioned together because the two are necessary licenses required to sell insurance policies. Uh, what does that say? Did I highlight that? If I should, let me go highlight that. What was that noise I was hearing? What was that pixie noise I was hearing a few minutes ago when I wasn't able to come into the room? That's where atheists make their bones. The Series 6 and 63 licenses are often mentioned together because the two are necessary licenses required to sell what? Life insurance? No. No. Health insurance? No. Sell insurance policies tied to investments. You must have your Series 6 and 63 if you are selling insurance policies tied to investments. That's exactly what I said in the chat. No, Joe doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh, yeah, Joe, he's just making it up, right? I prove you idiots wrong every time, and yet you still continue with these charades. You still continue with the charades. Examples. Here's some examples of securities. Okay, so if your life insurance policy, most likely if you have a life insurance policy, it's connected to some sort of variable annuity or an indexed, what's called an indexed life insurance policy. So there are life insurance policies and then there are indexed life insurance policies. That means that when it's indexed, that means it's connected. That means you can basically, it can grow or it can, depending on the market, right? Or crash. All right. And then there are some safeguards and protections that are put into life insurance policies to make sure that you don't lose everything. Okay, in order to sell, let me pause this really quickly. Here it is, right here. I mean, this someone on that panel could have Googled it right then and there. Do you notice that when a liberal or when a conservative or a Christian says something, everyone is Googling? You can literally hear the keyboard clacking away. Everyone is Googling in the background, trying to fact check the conservative or the Christian when they speak. But when these people speak, no one checks them on their BS. And people like Jay Passive, because they're as dumb as a doorbell, they will eat it up. Oh yeah, yeah, it must be right because it's putting Jill down, and whenever someone puts Jill down, they're telling the truth because I don't like Jill. The Series 63. All right, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about this before I move on to bigger and better things. The Series 63 is an administrative license that deals primarily in the securities laws that affect security sales in each state. The Series 63 deals primarily in the securities laws, not just life and health. In fact, if you don't know anything about life and health insurance, you better not step into that room to take the Series 63 or the Series 6. You won't. The basics is not the Series 6 Pixie, it is life and health. Okay. The Series 63 is and the Series 6 is where you are making the big time money. All right, those are your brokers, those are your financial advisors. Okay, those are your big boys behind the metal fence. Merrill Lynch, big boys, right? Okay, and Joe never claimed to be a big boy. Joe just said he had his life and health insurance, and they just got triggered. Like it's like wow, like big deal. Anyone could go downtown to the local state municipal and or uh, down to city hall and take the life insurance test. Anyone can do that. The raging atheist can go get his life insurance test and go take the packet and go study and go downtown and pay the $50 or whatever to take the exam. Anyone can do that. I'm no genius because I have my life insurance policy or my health insurance. I got the health first, then I got the life. That's not nothing to brag about. But again, these liberals are so desperate for a victory over Joe that they will try to create some sort of controversy where there need not be any. Okay? In order to sell securities or variable insurance in any state in the United States, you need both your Series 6 and your Series 63. Did it say that you needed your Series 6 to sell health insurance or life insurance? No. No. That just doesn't exist. Why are we making stuff up? Because we don't like Jill. Why why are we making stuff up? I should charge her for that. Toki says I should charge her. Look, all I did was Google. Like I just Googled Doki. That's all I did. I didn't do anything special. Like this is their Bible that they say that they follow and they trust. Why didn't you Google it? Why didn't anyone on the panel Google it? I think one person did, and they tried to correct her. He did. Bree, as her name, Bumble Bree, our beta male of the week, who thinks that if my wife found out that I was on her channel, she would be jealous as if she were a woman, a real woman, when she's not. So, what are the Series 6? Okay, here we go. Bold, but in general, this is Google. Look, about 345, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 million results. And you couldn't find one that help you out here? I call it Googling chronic selective Googling syndrome. Chronic selective Googling syndrome, CSGS. CSGS, chronic selective Googling syndrome. Okay. What are the requirements? All right. Look, in general, you need more than a Series 6 and Series 63. What? What? I Googled, do you need your Series 6 to sell health insurance? And they're telling me you need more than your Series 6 and 63. You cannot sell health or life insurance if you only have a Series 6 or 63 license. Oh my God. But yet that's the basic, right? No, you know Jill is not going to ever let this one down. He is not going to let this one go. Look, if you're going to open up your big mouth and say something stupid that you have no idea what you're talking about, you know I'm not going to let this one go. You know, you knew this was coming. You knew you. I bet you they Googled when they finally got off the stream. They Googled and was like, you know what, Joe's right. He's gonna make a video about this. I bet you. Jay Pasick is streaming right now, sniping me right now. Like I told you, Joe. All right, but in general, you need more than your Series 6 and 63 to sell insurance in your state. You have to have your life and health to sell life and health. The other licenses required to sell insurance in most states, and I did a check, it's probably all of them, except for maybe, I don't know, I haven't checked Alaska or Hawaii. But you must have your life. You cannot sell life insurance, you cannot sell health insurance without your health license. If you have life, you cannot sell health insurance. So there are no tiers. Oh, you get your Series 6 first, and that's the basic. No, most people get their Series 6 last because that's where the money is at. And when you have a basic understanding of life and health products, then you move on to the annuities, then you move on to the variable products. That's a step up. Now you can do all three at once. You can get your life license and your Series 6. I don't know. I don't know if any state will allow you to take the Series 6 with any other exam. Just life and health. You can take life and health. It'll be 150 questions. In my state, it was 150 combined life and health. Or you can just take the life by itself. You take the life by itself. I think it's just 100 questions. You take the health exam by itself. It's 100 questions. You can go right downtown. Anyone listening right now can call City Hall and say, "How do I take my insurance license to get my life license?" And they'll tell you. They're not going to tell you need your Series 6 first. No one would have their life license if they needed this Series 6 first. No one. I guess the rest of us doesn't know anything of what they're talking about. Let's hear the pixie noise again. Oh gosh, I'm just having too much fun.
You're not licensed at all if you didn't take your series. That's the thing. If you're allowed to sell, but the reason you're allowed to sell is because you are selling underneath a licensed FA who has agreed to take liability for you.
Dumb comment of the week. Dumb comment of the week. I'm spending too much time on this. I'm having too much fun. All right, so so other licenses required to sell insurance. Required to sell insurance. Isn't that what Joe said in the chat? That you need a license, a life license to sell life insurance. You need a health insurance license to sell health insurance. And you need a Series 6 to sell either if they are attached to a variable product or a product that is part or connected with the stock market. Okay, I hope that's clear now. The teacher once again has to teach. Again, liberal, please keep this in mind. I am the teacher. You are the student.
Which I doubt.
Wait, how can he say that he was licensed in 45 states if he didn't take his Series 6?
You're not licensed at all if you didn't take your series. That's the thing. If you're allowed to sell, but the reason you're allowed to sell is because you are selling underneath a licensed FA who has agreed to take liability for you, right? Like he's not licensed. The Series 6 is the most basic license you need, right? And then there's stuff after that. So if the Series 6 was too hard for him, he's not licensed in shit.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. 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 Is the hatred that much so for Christians that you just make stuff up just to try to make a Christian look bad? Oh, the Christian doesn't really have his license. He really didn't go to school. If he went to school, it must have been an online school. Well, yeah, because I can make the false dichotomy between faith and reason because I'm a dumb liberal, and that's really all I have in my repertoire. Shut up, liberal. So just like their predecessor, they make Christopher Hitchens. I'm speaking of. They make the false dichotomy between faith and reason. Simply, what that means is that you can't be a Christian and be intelligent and reason because you're a Christian. So you can't have any type of scholar knowledge or education. Well, all one needs to do is look at the pioneers of science, the ones who created modern science, basically. Pasteur, who created pasteurization. That's how you're able to drink milk and not, get some sort of infection or bacterial type of infection. You have Newton, Sir Isaac Newton. Um, so Kepler, Boyle. Uh, so we have a plethora of Christian scientists who were fully devoted to their faith and yet still men of science. So they were men of God and they were men of science. All right. There is no dichotomy, meaning one or the other. You must be one or the other. That's a false dichotomy to suggest that a Christian can't be educated or a Christian can't be um, have a degree from a accredited university because they're a Christian. PSA: if you have liberals in your neighborhood, remember to check your Halloween candy. Yes, man. Yes, yes. Satan's birthday is approaching, and he will try to kill some children. Satan is very upset because he's no longer allowed to kill children in the womb. So, because Satan is upset that he's no longer allowed to kill children in the womb, um, I feel as though he's going to make an extra effort this year to kill more children because that's what liberals love to do. They love to kill children. All right, so that was my dumb comment of the week. Dumb comment of the week. Hey, Doki is
Hey,
here.
Joe.
How's it going?
Uh, I'm doing good. I mean, I was
Okay.
listening to you. I was making an outline for my next video. I'm right now.
Okay.
I'm tackling Romans, but I also want to deviate from there a bit and talk about Luke. And I think, and then I'm gonna be making a stream about the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector. I'm pretty sure you're familiar with that five
Oh
verse
yeah,
story.
of course, of course. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
So
looking forward to seeing that. It's going to be later today or tomorrow. When?
I'm not sure. I have to find vacant because at the same time I am also studying for the board exam. Actually, I'm actually now bent forcibly to study for two eligibility exams. So yeah, do pray for me, Jill. Like
Oh yeah, sure.
my fragile little brain can't take all of it. So yeah, I mean, but the victory would be sweet. I mean, like two eligibility exams back to back, and you pass it. I mean, one. I mean, that's one thing to show off how good our God is.
Yeah, amen, amen. Yeah, yeah, I'm rooting for you. I'm praying for you. And is this for what position?
Well, let's say, one is local, so that's like a civil service exam,
Oh,
and
okay.
the other one is for a professional PRC. It's a I forgot what professional registration commission. Yeah, so that means
Okay.
I get to practice even bigger roles, like for my course physical therapy. So in terms of government eligibility, then that's a civil service for you. In terms of the eligibility for allowing me to practice my course and my degree, that would be the Professional Regulation Commission. That's the PRC. That's the license I need. So yeah. So I
All
need
right.
to
Good.
pass.
Yeah. Good for you, man.
Yeah.
All right.
So I need I need to pass these two exams. So
Okay.
it'll be it's gonna be difficult, but not everything, but nothing's ever easy, is it? If it was easy, everyone could do it.
Right. Yeah. That's a good point.
Yeah,
So.
go on.
Oh no, no. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say that, yeah, Doki Doki, it's a local eligibility exam and a bar exam. Yeah. I mean, the
Mm,
victory would be sweet if I pass them both back to back. That would be a great achievement.
yeah. Study hard, man. and you should do well. I'm rooting for you again. Um, I thought you were Doki.
Nah,
You're not Doki, so
I'm Saint Ronan.
oh, so this. I thought Saint Ronan was Doki. I thought you guys were the same person.
No, we're not. Oh, well, my
Okay.
name is Boki, but I'm not Doki Doki.
Oh, Boki. That see, that's what it was. There's Boki, and then there's Doki. I
Yeah.
got it now. All right. Okay. All right.
So,
I'm gonna
did you
finish
get
playing
your
this video.
did you get
Uh,
your Series 6 yet?
I mean, are you familiar with this area at all? I mean,
um,
I need somebody who's actually familiar with this because no one in that room obviously was. And the idea was is that well, you can't have your life license unless you hit your Series 6 first. Are you kidding me? Anyone who says that knows nothing about the Series 6, the Series 63, or life or health, that knows nothing. Nothing. Because I could
well,
find that to be the case in any state. Any
well,
state.
as you said, it's different in it's you have it different in states. Some want it, some want your Series 6 now, and some say, "Don't worry, we're gonna vouch or we're gonna have a liaison for you to get that Series 6 for you right now. Just focus on the. I mean, it depends on the agency, right, or in the institution.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
I've
go
been appointed with several insurance companies. They want you to get your Series 6 because there's more money involved and you can start selling products that have an annuity or have some sort of variable attached to them. And that's
on.
where the money's at. But you can sell someone a life insurance policy that's not connected to the market with your life license. You do not need a Series 6 license to sell life insurance. So I just Googled that. I mean, that's a simple Google search. But I want to finish playing this because
Sure.
someone did make a good point, the same point that you made about some states are different. But what is being said here, there's no state that exists that requires you to get your Series 6 first.
Hmm.
That's not the basic. That's like you said, that if anything, they'll want you to go on to get that later. And
Right.
they'll train you for it and even pay for the test in some cases. The when I first started working for I think it was Humana, they paid for the exam to get my health insurance license, and I have my license and I've had it ever since. You just renew it every couple of years.
That's true.
You know,
Yeah, that's also going to be the pain of a physical therapist. I mean, an actual registered physical therapist, because my gosh, Jill, like you think passing the board is the horror part, or if you think passing the board is the horrendous part, imagine that every license renewal we need to take an exam again. So
well, you
got that
do,
going
but
on.
not. It's not going to be the same exam. It's going to be like a refresher type of thing. If they're
Yes.
yeah, yeah. I take it. I take one for life and health every. I think I have to do it every 2 years. Otherwise, your license will lapse, or you pay
Yeah,
a fee.
I think it's the same case for us too. Or I don't
Yeah,
know. I mean, that
yeah,
depends because every 5 years there's new research. So yeah, I guess that's every 5 years.
right.
But
Yeah, you do. You have to do continuing education.
mm,
Yeah.
right, it's all about sharpening the mind. So
What's going on, Slim Jim? Slim Jim is in the house. How's it going?
hello, SJ. I'll call him SJ now. It's
Slim Jim, you there?
SJ. You up there, dude?
Can you guys hear me at all?
Yeah, we hear you
Loud and
just
clear.
fine.
Oh, that's odd. My browser says that it's getting no feedback from my mic. But if
Now,
you can hear me, that's fine.
yeah, you're loud
Yeah,
and clear, Slim Jim.
loud and clear, Slim Jim. What's going on?
Lima Charlie. Not much. How are you guys doing? Hope Sun Church was a blessing to you today.
Oh
Church was
yeah,
indeed.
me it's going to be later on, but it will be.
I'm just glad that the Lord is merciful.
Indeed.
Mhm. I mean, I mean, imagine like he has faith in a hopeless specimen like us. Like that's
Are you a worm, Saint Ronnie? Are you a worm?
maybe in my past life. All right, so
Yeah.
so I want to know how the Series 6 works and how different states have a different look on this. You wanted to play something?
Oh no, I'm finished my rant. I was just
Oh,
responding to some pixie dust noise,
oh yeah, no
claiming
fix.
that if you need your six Series 63 to sell life insurance, uh, that's demonstrably false.
Hmm,
Let me let you hear the pixie noise again.
sure.
It's really loud. Cover your ears.
You're not licensed at all if you didn't take your series. That's the thing. If you're allowed to sell, but the reason you're allowed to sell is because you are selling underneath a licensed
Yeah.
FA who has agreed to take liability for you, right?
Wrong again, liberal. All you had to do, all someone on that panel, the panel included Leo Phillips. This guy's supposed to be the brightest, but you know what I think happened? I think they realized that she was wrong, and no one wanted to correct her. That's just how liberals are, and the liberal cult is you go along to get along, and then if you're a Catholic, we get along with you also, like Slim Jim. So,
What?
so that's why no one corrected her, because that would go against their narrative, their cult, that
Have you
Christians don't
seen
know
me
what
fight
they're
with
talking
Pixie
about.
before?
What's that?
Have you seen me fight with Pixie before? We get into arguments every time that we're in the same room.
Oh yeah.
You're
Okay.
not licensed at all if you didn't take your series. That's the thing. If you're allowed to sell, but the
Into
reason
that.
you're allowed to sell is because you are selling
Yeah, I don't care
underneath
much for
a
Pixie.
licensed
Yeah.
FA who has agreed to take liability for you, right? Like he's not licensed. The Series 6 is the most basic license you need, right? And then there's stuff after that. So if the Series 6 was too hard for him, he's not licensed in shit.
Clear on that. What color's the Trailblazer?
What's that? What'd you say, Slim?
So I was talking to somebody else.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So you can go. You can just Google this. All right. Do you need your Series 6 to sell health insurance or life insurance? And they'll tell you that you can't sell life insurance with your Series 6 because it's not a life insurance license. You idiot.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the mere fact it says that even if you have these two, you need more than just this.
You
Because
need your life and health.
because whatever company or agency you might be working, they will be the one that's doing all the mandate. They will be the one giving you the mandates of what you really require, other than your Series 6. I mean, it's like they treat this as some sort of basic, of course, fine, let's grant that basic, but more of like a fundamental one. Like it's just something you could slap around and okay, I got this. Give me a job. No, it depends on the institution. Depends on the agency. What is their mandate? How do they do things around here? You can't just take that and just say, okay, you're hired. It's not that easy. Based on what I saw,
Yeah.
okay. Based on what I saw.
You have to pass background checks, both FBI, um, so
Mm.
federal, and you have to do the child abuse clearance too. I do it every year anyway, so I didn't have a problem with. Um, but yeah, to be appointed by an insurance company, you cannot sell anything in any
Mm.
state. You cannot sell someone a life insurance policy if you do not have a life license. If you cannot sell someone a health insurance policy if you do not have a health license. I mean, I I don't know what more that I can say. I don't know what more I can say. I mean,
Unless he's texting as he drives, which I doubt.
Wait, how can he say that he was licensed in 45 states if he didn't take his Series 6?
You're not licensed at all if you didn't take your series. That's the thing. If
you're not licensed at all if you didn't take your series. Wow. You guys want to hear my woke pastor of the week?
Sure.
Yeah, maybe you can. What do you think about your life and do you need your Series 6 to sell life insurance, Slim Jim? What have you learned?
I don't sell insurance, so I've never bothered to find out.
Yeah, go get along. Go along to get along. Yeah. All right.
Why would I need to know why would I need to know about selling insurance?
Why don't you Google it really quickly and on the record, why don't you tell us, do you need your Series 6 to sell life insurance? Go ahead and Google that now. All right. I'm gonna play
driving.
Oh, you're driving now. Okay. All right. I'm gonna play the woke pastor of the week. All right, we had a beta male. The beta male of the week was a man by calling himself Bree, who claimed that my wife might be jealous of the fact that I went on her page or her channel as if she were a woman, as if he were a woman. Doki. This man.
Yeah.
Let me show you.
I hear you.
Show you who. This man who pretends to be a woman. Let me just show you who she is.
Hi there, handsome. How about a date? No thanks. Maybe some other time.
All right, so this man. so this man who claims to be a woman is now going to tell me that I commented on her channel or his channel, and then she responds by saying, "Your wife is going to be jealous," as if he's a woman that my wife would be jealous of. Like, it's amazing the level of delusion. I mean, the level of it's just insane.
Guess what? It's Sadie Hawkins Day. How about up to your hotel money bags?
Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey is the best. He's not allowed to talk about the time that he did those skits on In Living Color. He'll be canceled if he ever. I think he came out recently and apologized to the trans community for those skits that he did back in the 90s. What a wimp. All right, woke pastor of the week. This might be the woke pastor of the year, guys.
It was a historic occasion to watch the confirmation of the first African American woman, Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. I must be living in some alternative universe, because if the first African American woman to sit on the Supreme Court was confirmed yesterday, then every African American should be standing up, applauding in churches all over the world. Okay. Maybe it's just me. But maybe it's just me. But I believe that requires our utmost celebration.
Maybe it's just you. Maybe it's just him. Maybe it's not all black people who should be celebrating. Should black folks know who you're black, Saint Ronin? Should black people be celebrating?
Celebrating what?
Ketanji Jackson Brown. So if you're not celebrating, then you must not be black. Then I guess. So no,
Yeah,
we don't celebrate the murder of unborn children. Christians do not celebrate when someone is put in charge or in power that holds to the notion that it's okay to murder children. We don't celebrate that. We lament, we cry, we cry out to God and ask him to remove that person. And God says no, because my will be done. So um, I'm going to leave this person in there because I have a reason why they're there. So it could be to punish you for how dumb and to show you how dumb a decision you've made. That could be the reason why God allows it. Um, Pixie's alter ego is who?
Erica. Which Erica?
Is that from
You mean
the
Erica Hubner?
Gupstick is her name or something like that?
I don't know.
Joel Osteen has a Series 6 license. 6,000 for the 6 prayers of healing. Okay.
Wow, Joel Osteen is a giant grifting son of a biscuit. I'd walk in there and then just. I know it's gonna cost me a lot, but I, I mean, dude, the guy has a slappable face. Literally, like it's just so slappable. Like it's like I got no beef with him or anything, but just look at that face. It's screaming slap me, dude.
A slappable face.
Yeah, slappable. Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's like you slap it, but it's like you never had beef with the guy, but because it's just conducive for slapping, you know?
Right.
And I remember in my hermeneutical reading on why numbers 5 does not talk about abortion, stupid libs. Uh, and then I went on to Hosea to give other context that when it comes to, I mean, if we go back to ancient Eastern cultures, progeny was something celebrated. When they found out that the female was going to bear a child, everyone rejoiced. The pagans rejoiced, the Jews rejoiced, those of the Far East rejoiced, those nomadic tribes rejoiced. Why? Because they're celebrating the fact that look, we're going to have another us. Our tribe will survive. Progeny was something celebrated. It was not something looked down upon.
Right.
Could
Right.
it be that?
Yeah.
Could it be that even the quote unquote primitive heathen cultures of before, as people today would say that we're more better and advanced than them today, value life more than we do today? Did they know better? Did those cultures back then knew better than we did? I don't know, Jill. I mean, do you think they knew better when
Well,
it
no,
came
it's
to
just well, no, everything is just more sophisticated today. That's really it. I mean, it's
yeah.
just a sophistication of the same principles that we've kept, the same common sense truth propositions we've had for since Adam and Eve, and
Mhm.
we've just sophisticated the process. That's all.
Yeah, but it's basically like I'm just challenging where if they're gonna argue out of ethnocentrism, then yeah, our time's better today. I mean, unlike those primitive ancient cultures, yeah, well, they respected and regarded life highly, even those on the womb, better than you guys did. So, what's your point?
Right.
Oh, it's more sophisticated now. Yeah, yeah. Like, okay,
Yeah, they knew what a woman was, right?
yeah, people. Yeah, people of old knew what a woman was. What did they know better than we do? Oh, forget it. We're a more sophisticated generation now, right, Jill?
Can you provide a definition for the word woman?
Can I provide a definition? No,
Yeah.
I can't.
You can't?
Not in
Okay.
this context.
So you
I'm not a
believe the meaning
biologist.
So you must be a
Wow.
biologist to know what a woman is today, I guess. I'm out of here. I want to play before I leave. I have a clip of who I believe should be Teacher of the Year, and let me know if you agree with me. I guess in the comment section because I'm going to be ending the stream after this. But this is the Teacher of the Year, standing up to liberals. She left the public school district in her state and started her own school because she was tired of all the lies and the propaganda that's being spread currently, especially in the public schools.
I have opened an online K through 12 school that will counter the lies being fed to our children in public schools, and I'm already getting a ton of hate from the left. Like this lady who said, your school is going to be discussed at our next board meeting at our company. We have determined that you are a hate grooming institution. In fact, I might contact the media about your hateful posts about half the citizens in this nation and how you operate a school. The left has had a stronghold on our public education for far too long. The majority of teachers are left-leaning, even in red states. The majority of school boards are left-leaning. And America is finally standing up. I am standing up. As a former public school teacher of 15 years, I'm so tired of it that I opened a school that will counter their lies. I think it's a good sign that they're freaking out about it. And if you want to check it out, go to thinkexodus.org.
If you reject Christ, then the moment you take your first step through the gates of hell, the only thing you will hear is all of creation standing to its feet and applauding and praising God because God has rid the earth of you.
I take full responsibility for my going to hell.